So what I've done is I've created a new install with desktop server. I've just named it Dynamik Starter. I guess for this little project, so that at least we can see Dynamik and Genesis installed. So I'm going to go to Appearance Themes, and Dynamik is the child theme of Genesis. So Genesis is the framework. Dynamik is what you'll use for editing and I guess making the site look how you want. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's activate that. It tells me there's an update available, so I'll just update Dynamik now. There we go. So Dynamik, that's now updated, and let's go ahead and look at at some of the settings in Dynamik. Straight away, you can in the settings itself, page titles. Now, obviously, there's going to be some page titles you don't want, maybe on the home page, and they're all H1s, by the way. So it's a framework and child theme that's built right. You get too many of them that are using your logo as H1, and that's just a huge no-no for SEO. I guess you know that. So if you're not too sure which one's your home page, you can actually just press ID, and it'll give you all your IDs here. So, for instance, I don't want to show a title on the home page, so I'm just going to press 5, or remove them all from the pages. But in this case, we don't really want to do that. So, if we've got custom post types, such as if we wanted to do a custom post type of different services or a portfolio or such, you would tick this box, and it will it'll include all the options that Dynamik gives you inside each of your pages for those custom post types. We're going to use HTML5 markup, so that's already pre-ticked. I'm going to use the column classes. And responsive is turned on, which is good, and the kitchen sink. So if you were building a site for somebody and you didn't want them to have all the options turned on, you would just probably just throw in the structure and settings. So it's that comes down to the very basics of what's available in the design.
Okay. Yeah.
So go ahead and save that. Once you're done building a site, you can also, if you wanted to have a starting base each time for your next project. Let's say you built out a starting base that you're quite happy with, and you thought, rather than doing this all again, I can just export all of this code and import it into the next time I build something, and straight away it's got all the settings ready to go.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a head start there. Dynamic design. This is where you can, your wrap with it, where it's going to go. A fluid design, which is right the way across the screen, like you see there.
Yeah.
Or we're going to go boxed, which is fixed design. So if I just change it to box design, refresh the page, then I've got it boxed.
Yeah.
And right out of the box, that's responsive.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Now, there's some really cool features with this latest Dynamik, is that we can control. Let's exclude all, and if we wanted to include, just update the fonts, the font colors, or whatever. We can just go select the parts that we want, and we can actually just change the colors for all of these ones that we've selected. So you're not having to go through Let me just close it again. So you're not having to go through each of these and then change the font colors, the hover font, and whatever. So
Oh,
that's
I see.
pretty. That's pretty.
How do you do that again?
So you control, and at the moment all of them are selected.
Oh, you control. I see. Yeah.
Okay, and we can change the font. You know what font we're going to be using. Or we're going to be using maybe a Google font. Um, we can select the the color of the links. What is the hovering going to be, and if it's going to be underlined.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Um, that's just for the fonts. You can go to background options. So the background color of let's untick all of these, and we're just going to tick nav, sub nav, header nav, and the background color. Let's just change the background color to. I guess that'll do. Save that.
Where do the series got main background? You can choose image. How do you get an image to show up inside them things?
Okay, I'll show you that.
Okay.
So let's we'll go through we'll go I'll keep
We'll
going
come
through
back to it.
where we are, and we can come back to that, and you can change the borders, padding and margin for all your pages and all your elements, and you can do that all through the U control, kind of as a
A blanket.
that's yeah it is it is a blanket as such. It's just a bit of a head start. It covers just all the areas that you want to do all in one go. But you have much finer control though once you do go into each of these, like navigation. You can change the background color of your sub navigation, the hover colors of your navigation. It's really quite intuitive of what you're going to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think what we're wanting to do is get I guess a starting point for an electrical business.
Yeah. That's what
That'd
we're
be
gonna do. Yeah.
okay. So what you've shown me uh, originally is a setup where it's going to be boxed anyway, because you wanted to show some nice background behind the main content area.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So when I do backgrounds, I use something which is pretty cool. So it's a nice plugin. It's going to be background manager.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just going to install that. Okay. What this background manager does is really awesome. Is that you can control what background you want on what page, or if you want 5 different backgrounds on one page, and they're kind of fading from one background to another.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
awesome.
and then for a different page, it might be another set of backgrounds. You may want a clickable background, so it goes to a different link. Pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome for something that's free. It's pretty awesome. So let's start with settings, bulk page creator. This is normally how I will flesh out a site very quickly. So I've already got home. I don't need sample page, so I'll delete that in a minute. It's going to be, I'll set the page content, and it's going to be published. So let's go about services, really should have services. News. You call out some if there's some that you want to see. Locations,
Um, Locations. Yeah. Tutorials.
tutorials
Yep.
on electrical.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably not going to have it on the home page, but I might have
Okay,
tutorial
so
section.
we're just gonna I was gonna do the main navigation
Oh, the menu.
menu at the moment. So contact.
Locations. Contact us. Yeah.
So home, about, services, news, locations, contact. Let's just add those ones to start with, but I'm going to
Yeah.
just add some lorem ipsum into that. I'll go 6 sentences, I'll go maybe 3 paragraphs on each. Oops, I press save, wrong button.
Where does that come from? Is that inside Dynamic?
No, this is just a tool that I use on my Chrome.
Oh, I see. To get content. Yep.
Yep. So now I've got all of those pages. They're going to be top level, so there's going to be no parent. Um, I'll add those pages so you can see that I've just added them.
Mhm.
It now shows me that I can create some more pages to these. So under about or under services, what could be your services?
Uh, you could put a commercial electrician.
Okay, so
I'm copying some from another site.
sure, yep. Okay, commercial electrician.
Uh, domestic electrician. They could put emergency call outs. Domestic's got one in.
Where am I? There we go. And under parent, we're going to put that under services.
Yep.
And now we've got those three under services straight away. And let's do some our team. This is under the about page now I'm going to be doing. So our team.
Um, why choose us? Maybe.
Why choose us? There we go. So I'll put that under. So I'll put that under. I'll put my little girl's coming here. Did you? You're jumping in the puddles.
I have to put my boots on now.
Do you? Okay, you go put your boots on. Okay, so I've created some main main pages and some sub pages. I'm just going to update the site, and that will throw that lorem ipsum into those pages. I've got appearance menus. Main menu. Create menu.
Yep.
And I'm going to, the theme location is going to be a primary navigation. And I'll view all, select all. I don't need that one, and I don't need the sample page. And let's add those to the menu. Our team about, why choose us, services, commercial, domestic, emergency, news, locations, contact. So save menu. And in theory, we have a menu.
Oh yeah, cool.
So, it gives you a nice drop down. Pretty basic. And again, it's responsive. And I'll show you a tool that's quite handy for doing testing of your responsiveness. When I do media queries, I use this tool here, which is called Dimensions.
Dimensions. Yeah.
And you get that from the Chrome tools or Google tools, whatever you call it, Chrome Tool Store.
Store. Yep. App store.
The App Store, that's it. Yep. So go to Genesis, Dynamic Design. Now, I don't find that menu, if I'm going to go to iPhone 5, I don't find that menu particularly nice. It is responsive. It does what the old responsive menus do. So let me go into responsiveness, responsive show and hide options. And we're going to change your media queries for your navigation. So we'll go for vertical toggle, which is I guess the standard these days.
Drop down type thing.
Yep. And already that's given us the all of the styling for that, and we can change that styling if we want for your navigation, like the background, the color, the font, and all that. So I just saved that. That was just really one click, and I turned on vertical toggle. And if I refresh this dimensions, it now gives us a responsive navigation, straight away into a responsive navigation.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and change out that navigation just to be menu. Your sub navigation can be center aligned, left aligned. If we didn't want the vertical toggle, we could go tablet drop down, a mobile drop down, vertical menu. So if we went tablet drop down, let's save that, refresh, and when you're actually on a where is it? Gone. It's in menus. Let me just save that, resave it. There's a little one down here. So responsive drop down one. Save menu. This gives you probably, if you went for these ones, they don't give you a nice toggle like the other one, how it drops down into a nice menu, with a full background. Reason for that is it emulates really what an iPhone and an iPad do, and it gives you that kind of what do you call it? That wheel, when you go into a menu on some sites, gives you a wheel underneath, almost like a native iOS app.
Yeah.
Yep. So it gives you that. So
Oh,
it presents it nice like a bar, but it just gives you like a drop down that goes over your content. It doesn't actually push down your content.
oh, I see. Yeah. So it doesn't push it off the screen.
No, that's right. For me, I prefer vertical toggles. That's just a personal choice, really. So I'll just save that.
How do these? This is only when it's responsive. So it only goes to that when it's responsive. When it's
That's
full size, it'd be the normal
that's
menu.
correct. So I just refreshed this, and it's like a normal menu. I refresh this. Since I've gone to the toggle, I got to 1024 and it's normal. 768 is normal. Going down to 480, I could probably get my responsiveness to start kicking in from maybe 768, possibly 4. Let's go for I guess 500. Let's go 500 pixels. We'll get this media query to kick in at 500.
Can you set two on this or just one?
What do you mean?
Could you have one menu type for say tablets and another menu type for iPhones and another one for like desktop? So you could have normal for desktop, but then if it was on an iPad,
Yeah.
it would be a different design. So it's smaller, but then iPhone would be a different design again.
What do you mean by different design?
But like
One's blue and the other one's green, and
oh no, I mean
no?
like so you could have like the toggle one that you've got now for iPhone,
Yeah.
but then you might want a different design for iPad, or maybe the iPad would have the toggle one, and then maybe the iPhone would just have the one that you can doesn't go over your content.
Oh right. No,
So
you couldn't do that because it's using a bit of script that's kicking it in.
it's just one. So it's like
Yeah,
so it's like
absolutely.
more
You'd
more
have
more
one
responsive.
type.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
So I've set that for 500, and it kicked in. It kicked in at the 500 mark.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of giving those a bit of styling. So
Off off subject a little bit, but kind of on subject. Can we add stuff into the menu on this one?
can you add stuff into the menu?
Yeah, I was talking to you about it before about on some things you can add things into the menu like widgets and stuff. Like obviously you
So
can do it
like a search bar and stuff like that.
not a search bar. Say if I wanted to add a contact page for a plugin.
Yeah.
So it said when you click on contact, instead of it opening up at a page, it just had a drop down contact menu.
Yeah, no theme will be able to give you the options to put widgets and stuff or sidebars into yes, Annabelle. Sidebars into menu items unless they've added a mega menu or an uber menu type
Okay.
type scenario into the actual theme functions.
If I did do that, or if we did do that, then would that override the menu functions that you've just selected?
Mhm.
Would them functions then come under the mega menu functions?
That's correct.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's correct.
Not sure.
So I guess what we've done is we've created basically a very basic layout, which gives you your content home. I guess I don't need to go into how to make your the reading of your home be the main page. You do know how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So sidebars. Let's do an easy layout, which is pretty cool. It's built into Dynamik. So go into Dynamic Design. Going to go into Easy, and we can have on the home page we can have the three widgets across the top.
Okay.
A fat footer which gives you more widgets down the bottom. So if we want to give it to all pages, I just selected home, post, pages, archives and blog. That'll give us a fat footer, and we'll go for a fat footer of 4 widgets or three widgets wide down the bottom.
Yeah.
And feature top, we'll select all, and we'll go for feature top 2, so it gives you 2 widgets across the top. And I can hear my little girls having a bit of difficulty out there. So we've got now a feature top 1, feature top 2, a fat footer 1, fat footer 2, fat footer 3.
I see. So the widgets they just
And then widgets, yeah, just widgets ready to go.
okay.
So if you placed a text in here, feature top 1, feature top 2,
So you could put anything you want in there, really. You could
sure,
put opt-in menu or picture or video or
yeah. If you want to go for things like doing sliders, well, there's something else that we need to do, and we won't use it this way. There's 2 ways we can do it. We can create it through something called hooks, which is it's for the first time person looking at hooks, they go, oh no, what is all this? And this is all really cool. So labels, I'll go through labels in a minute. Conditionals, widget areas, so we can create new widget areas too, completely new widget areas, and hook boxes. This is cool. So we'll make a hook box, and we'll call this one a slider. We'll put that slider after the header. So after header, and this one here we'll call this slider, and there's no conditionals to check, so we want that slider to be just on the home page only. So I'll just save that, and let's make a conditional. Conditional means I want this on the home page and home page only, not on the other page. So is front page. So is front page, and that will now create a conditional for me. Let's say I wanted some.
It'll automatically make it only the front page if you do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if I go to the hook boxes, there's a conditional now for me, is front page. But before I do save that, let me just show you what that will do. So we have slider here, so that's just an area, that's a whole area there we're going to put a slider. I've only just put the word slider so you know it was showing, and it's showing on every single page, and we don't want that. We just want that on the home page. So as soon as I select is front page, which is the conditional, and press save, that will only show, so if I refresh that, that will show on the home page but not on any other page. So let's say, for instance, you have locations, and you service Sydney, Melbourne, Perth.
Okay.
Then let's go ahead and make a label, and we're going to call this label location Sydney. We'll make a conditional for that. Let's go and make a new one. We'll call this one location Perth.
Yep.
And the next one location Adelaide. That's because I live here. So we're going to save those changes, and let's go ahead and make a few more pages. Adelaide, oh, my fat fingers. Sydney, oh man.
This bulk page creator, is that through Dynamik?
No, I downloaded that just through the WordPress codex, and it is really handy, especially when you want to build out a page really quickly. Let's say I've built out all the content for one of my locations for Adelaide, and I had 8 more locations to add. Well, I will go into that page. I'll go to edit page. I'll go into the HTML of it. I'll copy out everything that's in that page, and then I'll set page content, and I'll paste it into this bottom box here. So that creates all the content that you need for all of those pages, and all you got to do is change out your locations.
Really cool.
Are you there? He disappeared. And just while you were getting your earphones, what I did is I just got some more lorem ipsum, and just threw it into the bottom here. So I've made sure my page data is published, and set pages content. So I've gone Adelaide, Sydney, Perth, and I'm going to put them under locations. Add pages, and then update site, and that will just add those 3 locations to the site. So what I'll do is, under this Genesis and custom, I'm going to go ahead and go locations Perth, locations Adelaide and Sydney. They're done. So I want to have a header, or maybe a banner under the menu, which will have maybe a map of Adelaide, map of Sydney, a map of Perth, and something visual about each of those states. about my services. So, it's a bit more engaging with your clients from Sydney, or your clients from Perth or such. So the conditionals are set, as you can see here. I'm going to create a hook box, which is going to be add a banner to each of those. So my conditional is going to be, I'll do one for Adelaide to start with, and I'll call this one banner Adelaide, and the location where I want that to sit is after the header, and I'll save that. Now here's a really cool thing with Dynamik. I don't have to go and redo this area here. So I'm just going to call this one banner. I'll call it location banner. Location banner. And let me just say that again. Sorry. But I want to duplicate these. I don't want to have to remake them each time. So if I had a lot of content or a lot of code in here, a bit of HTML that I didn't want to have to redo each time, all I've got to do is just take it away and go Perth, select my conditional, sorry, as Perth, and then save. Now I'll just go over that again. Sydney, undo that one and click that one and save. Now at the moment you would be thinking, well, it hasn't done anything. All you've done is just renamed it. But if I refresh, now I've got these hook boxes which have replicated. You see that? It doesn't show instantly. You've just got to refresh your page, and then it will show you banners. So now you're on these pages. Your locations of. It's got appearance, menus, and we'll throw in these three locations. Add to menu. Perth, Sydney, Adelaide. Save that. Locations, refresh. So let's go to Adelaide. Now I want the banner to show there, so edit page. And I've got this really cool thing here. Now I created these labels, and this is how you can make sure anything that is labeled location Adelaide, even if you do some widgets, you create some widgets and they have that conditional for Adelaide. As soon as I click Adelaide, I'll have update. I should really change those permalinks too. View page. Now I'm on Adelaide, and here's location banner that will show for Adelaide. So Perth, edit page, Perth, update, view page. It should show a banner there too, but they're all just named location banner, so that's probably not the best thing we could have done. I probably should have put location banner Sydney, location banner Perth, location banner Adelaide. So I'll edit this page. Just gives you a bit of an idea of the power of it and what you can do. Sydney, update. So what we've done is we've created these labels. What labels do is it means that you can target certain pages for certain content very easily by just ticking those little boxes that I just showed you, and they are basically looking at this here. This is what creates those labels, little tick boxes, and then we have conditionals that were created by making those labels, and then we went into those hook boxes, and those gave us conditionals that we were ready to use here. So location banner Adelaide, Perth, Sydney, and save that. So if I refresh this page now this one's for a big banner, a nice big colourful banner, Sydney. This one's going to be Perth, and this one's Adelaide. So far, pretty cool. Now, if I wanted some widgets, and if I wanted to have a sidebar down here that was very specific for Adelaide, then what I'll do is I'll create a widget area. And we can create little sidebars now. So this one's going to be geez, I'm having a bad time with my typing. So Adelaide, anything that you put in this one is going to be conditional. So we can, there's a few things that we can do. If we wanted to use these widget areas as such, and they just show on a page of Adelaide, yes, it will show. But this also can be used as a shortcode. So we can grab that and place it anywhere we want. So we can actually go copy that. Let me just save this change. I could, in theory, in Adelaide, and every time we make a shortcode, a sidebar, and we want to use it as a shortcode, oh my goodness, Adelaide, it'll actually show the sidebar that I've just created, that widget, in here in the banner. So I'm not stuck with my widgets showing down the side here. I can place them anywhere I want in the content, or I can create my own block of widgets specific to Adelaide. So let's just so now I've gone ahead and put a shortcode there. So all we have to do is press this little button here, says do shortcode, and what that will do is wrap it in PHP. Okay, so if I just save that change, that'll also by the way, just that saved that widget area too. I can give that a class, which is pretty cool. So it's not going to be called widget area something. You can just name it as widget-Adelaide. So we can put a bit of styling to that specific widget. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So let's go to widgets, and we've got a new widget, and it's going to be called Adelaide. So in here I'm going to just put a bit of lorem ipsum. Let's do 2 sentences. No, go on. Save that, and all going well, it'll throw some lorem ipsum under there. That's because I've used that sidebar actually in that hook. Does that make sense? Nah, that'll take up the full width. That'll take up your whatever width you give it is the width that it's going to use. So if I place it in an area that's going to have complete full width, then it's going to grab that full width. So if I go to location Adelaide, it's thrown it in there. Now it doesn't look like there's any padding. That's because I've not really given it any HTML and wrapped it in a div where it knows that it's in a wrapper and a container in that wrapper. Does that make sense? Yep. Alrighty, that's the basics, and shows you the power of it too. I say that's the basics, and it shows you the power of it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So if I come out of here and just remove that, there's another thing actually we could have done. So that could have been a shortcode or both. It's both a hook and a shortcode. So this is the widget for adding content to Adelaide region.
How would you put a like a slide in the hook?
Okay, I'll show you that. So I'll just save that. And what we've got now is this should have a sidebar now down the side here for Adelaide, or it didn't work. What did I do wrong? Save that. Let's just go to hook to start with. Oh, okay. I didn't put it down the sidebars. So let's just look for our sidebar. So Genesis sidebar, Genesis before sidebar widget area. In other words, before. So, and if you're not sure where all these hooks are, there's a really cool plugin that will show you exactly. A hook is a location in a theme. If you didn't know that, it's a different locations in a theme that you can just place things.
Okay.
Not all themes have them.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
So this is something that's really it's using WordPress to its fullest. WordPress has something pretty awesome, which is hooks, and allows you to add actions, remove actions, and add filters and whatever to these locations. Now, no point getting to understand that just yet, because you really know you're just looking at this to start with. So now we have the sidebar down the bottom, which we have created for Adelaide. So if I go to another location, Perth, all going well, it doesn't show, and it doesn't.
Oh, I see.
Now, I'm just going to show you that plugin that I mentioned, and before I do, I might just change it to both. So I want to make sure that I haven't actually used both before, but in theory that should throw it up in that hook that I created, because I do have that still sitting there, and down the side.
Okay. So how does it do both? One's because it's in the short code and one's
That's
in the bottom.
that's correct, because I've used a short code. I've created a short code of it and then put it up there, and also put it in that little widget box. Let's
Okay.
go to
So the short where you put we're in hook box where you put to make short codes.
yes.
So it's highlighted. That's the one to put it in the sidebar.
No, that's the one that's put it up the top in that banner.
Ah, so how does it go in the side through the widget area?
Actually, if you just create a normal widget, it's just going to be down the normal sidebar, down your normal sidebars, down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that's your standard sidebar area. And it's when you actually turn that widget area into a shortcode, then you can grab it out. Then you can grab that and really make it. You can transport it anywhere you want in your theme.
And that widget's called Adelaide. So you've made a widget area called Adelaide.
Yes, I've made a widget area called Adelaide, and when I placed in the hook box, notice that I didn't have capital A. I just put just Adelaide, lowercase.
Okay.
That's how shortcodes
Okay.
work. That's how shortcodes work here.
Okay.
And if you had a space in there, you'd put Adelaide dash and whatever the word was.
Okay. Underscore or dash.
Dash.
Dash. Okay.
So let's have a look at plugins. You want to see hook locations. This has hook locations all over the place. A huge amount of hook locations.
Yeah.
And what this will do is something pretty cool. This is all the areas. Everything that's orange are all the areas that you can put anything like sliders, content, every single one of these little boxes you can put custom content, ads. Um, yeah, that's correct. All those there, like Genesis after footer, Genesis footer, Genesis before footer, Genesis after, and Genesis before and Genesis after. The basically the top and the bottom of your site. Like in here, these ones here. Yes, correct. So here is your loop. This here is your loop. All this content is sitting in your loop. So and the loop is before your sidebar. So basically, these ones here, Genesis after footer, Genesis entry footer, entry after, after loop. These are all going to sit inside this content area before your sidebar. But if you wanted it to be underneath your content but spanning the full width and underneath your sidebar, then it would have to be after the yeah, that's correct. Or before footer. Above the sidebar? Yeah, yep, yep. So before content and before content sidebar. So I'll give you an example of that. So let's go Genesis after loop, and let's go with this widget that we created. Go back to widgets, Genesis custom widget areas. Let's go hooked, but I wanted this now rather than in my normal sidebar where you normally put widgets. Let's say I wanted that to be after. So go to content. Use a side here. So here's after loop. So Genesis after loop is this one down here. So let's just save that. That's correct. So it's no longer showing in my banner area in locations for Adelaide. Okay. But it's now showing there. There it is down there. Alright. Are you? Just give me a second there, Scott. Sorry.
I'm having Amanda win.
Are you? Yeah. And where is it?
Mummy's just starting it.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's just throw that one back up the top so we can see it. But you wanted to put a slider in, correct? That's probably something that's a bit more beneficial to you right now. And if you have, let's just say we had a banner showing. We had we wanted. There's 5 different things that we put in the Genesis after header for Adelaide. You're thinking, well, how do I prioritize them? That's just here. So if I wanted this one first, and then I had another one down here, another widget area under that one, and I wanted that second, well, I just go number 1, number 2. So you can kind of order them that way. Then that's pretty easy. Yeah. Correct. So let's just go to master slider. This is a new plugin from Code Canyon, and it's telling me I've got 33 ready to use sample sliders, which is really cool, especially when you're doing a demo anyway. So let's go with, I don't know, give this one a shot, I suppose. Well, I don't know, there's so many of them. Jeez, it's hard to know which one to start with. There's so many, really. It's pretty cool. Let's go with that one anyway. So create. It's importing some content to give us a demo, and it really does some nice. These smartphone ones are pretty cool, especially when you're demoing responsive work, or if you've got an app for the this electrical business. You've got an app for how to do things. What you're offering, people can come in and see something on their mobile, order the service on their mobile, whatever. So preview that. It's giving us a preview of a demo. It loads of content for us, which is pretty cool. Save changes. Slider settings. So this one's just going to be a sample slider 2, which is fine. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Well, this one, or I mean, here's our shortcode. So shortcode, we treat it the same way as the other shortcode that we did, how we did the widgets. So master slider is really cool. My second pick is revolution slider. It's it's so easy to use. I make up some pretty awesome sliders using these. But master slider has that just extra control where we can do hotspots, and yeah, it is really good, especially if you're doing services or something specific to a very specific area on your slide, and you just wanted this little thing just to kind of hover and just say push me, push me, push me. That's what this does, and when you press over it, it gives you an option of what to put into like a call out box. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so banner Adelaide, let's go and put the slider in here. Now I haven't done any settings on this master slider, so let's give it a shot anyway. So we've thrown it into the slider. It's going to be on the home page. If we put it in just like that and you forgot to press do shortcode, I'll show you what it will look like, because it'll kind of show something. You go, oh, what is it? Why isn't my slider showing? What have I done? Oh man, I need to get a developer to help me. No, you don't need it. Just press that. Do shortcode. Save the changes again, and let's just refresh that. Now, fingers crossed, this shows a slider. Okay. So now we've got a slider. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, we're using the their demo slides, which is fine, and it's an easy way to get something working pretty quickly. And responsive, yes, it's responsive, does the job. Alrighty, what else do you want to know? There is millions of things, yeah. I think that's enough to get you started with the basics. I've gone into a couple of advanced features with the dynamic custom, which is using your labels, creating your locations for let's say Adelaide, Perth, Sydney. Well, that in itself is just a huge bonus, especially when you've got different locations of Sydney that you're servicing. Yeah, you target your market, you target your audience just for them. So when they look at that page, they go, oh, he's targeting my suburb. They are, this is us. Yep.
whole page of content about their suburb, obviously you've serviced it.
Yeah, so if you've written that whole page of content for these locations, um, and then you're doing your SEO for these pages, and it almost creates a landing page for these targeted locations, the suburbs, and when people land on them, they go, "Wow, these guys service this area right here," um,
I see.
and
What
that's awesome.
what do you think for like for the web address, if I want it to be like my web address forward stroke and then say electrician's card on the end.
Right, so
That's obviously set up in
yeah,
the urban page.
yeah,
So do you think do you think they should be laid out as pages or posts?
no pages.
Yeah, set the whole. That's what I thought. Yeah, because a post would have been obviously you get the post that scrolls on one page, and then you open it and it's a whole post, which is like a page. That's essentially better to create a page for the
Yeah, yeah.
website.
When you're doing services like what what you've described for all your services, Sydney services, whatever, you need to create those out as pages, not posts.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
uh,
Go on.
pages will give you much more options on what you can do with those pages. Posts are really something that will go into your news, something that will go into your archives. That's the core of posts, news posts. They're things that can get archived.
Oh, I see.
Structure on your site, structure on your services. They're all pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the other thing I was going to ask was about like you were talking about silo structure before.
Silo structure. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so I tried that plugin thing I was telling you about.
So if I wanted a full page and I go down to layout settings and go full page, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
but then but then earlier on the custom settings,
Yes.
it was you'd made it to a box thing. So
Yes.
that full page layout would be full page within the box.
That's correct.
Okay.
I've created a full page layout. I've pressed save. I'll go to my page builder. Let me just turn my theme settings down here, and then bring my Visual Composer up to top.
How did you go to that?
Visual Composer.
Oh, was it already in there? Just because you've got
Yeah,
it
that's that
installed.
plugin Visual Composer.
Okay. Yeah.
So in here now I want to just add a row, a couple of rows. This one will be 3 rows. So add a text block. Okay, replicate that 3 times.
Yeah.
Drag that one up the top there. This one here will be, let's say, let me close it. I'll make that one into 2 rows. I want let's go with I'll go with a button in a minute, but let's put a bit of text there. Save, replicate that, bring it over there. Clone. This one here, I'm going to just turn this into a title. Heading 2 or heading 3. Save. Didn't need to replicate that one. Replicate this one here. Oops. Drag that one over here. Update that. So now I've got a pretty complex layout. I don't need so many.
So that's weird. Then basically, you don't do it with dynamic. You do it with
No, there's no need. I want to control.
dynamic. Can just pick out the basic layout.
Yeah, every site I build, I will do this very basic layout, and then I build out my pages as such. And I will change this one now. I'll save this one as 312 3-1-2. So 3 blocks, 1 block, 2 blocks.
I see.
Okay, update that.
So
Sure. So, so I go view my page. Yeah. So I go view my page. That actually saves it in my Visual Composer templates back there. So now I've got this pretty cool layout. That was easy to do and
Oh, I see. So
responsive.
if I wanted to put like pictures and stuff,
Yes.
then instead of putting text there, would there be one for pictures, or do I just put
Yeah,
text?
yeah, no, there is certainly one for pictures. So let's go to this page. We'll do what we've just done for the home page.
So if I wanted to do like if I wanted to do say like, you know like on any of the sites they might have three boxes and it's got a picture in the background or colours
Yes,
and then it's got writing on the front.
yes,
Would you recommend
what we've just done.
just
I'll
making
show
a
you.
picture
I'll show you.
or just put a background in?
I'll show you. Show you that. So I've just created a full width. I'll add a row. Let's add another row. Actually, let's delete that row. Let's start with templates. That template that we've just created,
Oh yeah.
and I just threw it in there. So that's the layout straight away. So let's drag this one down here. Now, what we'll do is we'll edit this column. We can do a design of having a background there, or better still, we'll edit the whole row, which gives us more options. So we go with the row background. Let's go with an image. Let's make it a parallax image. So vertical parallax on scroll. Let's change the background image to media library. I'm just going to throw in an image in there. So let's go and throw. Let's go and throw something in there. I'm looking for something dark on my images, so I can just put something in there. I don't really have any dark images. Just what I need. Well, this image is a little bit small that I wanted to place in there, but let's just set it as cover. Set image, no repeat. It's going to be a cover, so it's going to be as large as possible. Fix its position, scroll effect, move with the content.
Moving content, is that if the content scrolls within the box
Yeah,
or if the box scrolls on the page?
I'll show you the difference in a minute.
Alright.
And what we'll do is let's put a bit of text in there. Let's put a text block. That'll do. You're breaking up a bit there. I think I've lost you there, Scott. If you can still see, I can't hear you at all. So I reckon I've lost you. Yeah, I've lost you. But I'll continue just putting this in there for you. There we go. You're coming back. Yeah, not sure what happened there.
I lost it. I tried to call back here, but yeah.
It rang out. Yep.
It's
So
going
that
to go in a second, but it's supposed to be R67 or
n-
4.
no worries. I've got to
You there? Still watching?
I've got to oops. I've got to get going shortly anyway myself. So I'm just changing this background image. So I put the parallax background in already,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to throw in another one to give you a better idea.
So it's the background image of the whole row.
Of the whole row. That's correct.
So if there's three boxes or three divisions in that row, does it pick it across the whole thing?
So you can see that it's putting a bit of
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the parallax, whatever
the
it's called.
parallax. Yep.
Okay. So as it scroll a little bit, it just lags a little bit.
Well, it moves in an opposite direction.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, yeah.
And if I set it the other way, you better get going. You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. um, I just needed to change this one again. Row background image. I notice there's a little bit of a bug in this that you have to just select another option so you can put actual images, YouTube videos in the background also.
Oh shit! So you can play a video.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
that is cool. So I'll show you. Let's go YouTube.
You don't have to download it. You just put the link in there.
Yep, let's go with something size gaming style. Right, actually,
Gundam stuff.
yep, YouTube. Um, Scenic flight. These are always pretty good. The scenic flights. Ideally, we don't want one that's going to have an ad. That's what we. There we go. Copy that. Video URL. Put that in there. And save that. Update. And then in the background will be a video playing.
Oh yeah. Is that the if I did that on like an iPhone,
Yes?
would is that gonna does that slow the scrolling down or does it stop it? Right. So
Let me just give me a second.
hang on, let go in.
I could hardly hear you then because it came up as, as full sound in my ears while you're talking.
Oh, sorry. Taking my speakers off. Yeah. No, I said if it's on like a mobile, that would take quite a bit of
Bandwidth?
yeah, like quite a bit of bandwidth and it slow the site because I know if it's on like a faster load time, Google doesn't rank it as well apparently for mobiles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an option where you could put a video if it's on a mobile, it's got a video, and if it's on a no, if it's on a mobile, it's got a picture, and if it's on a PC, it's got a video.
Yeah, what you'd do, what the way I would do that is I would add a class to this row.
Oh yeah, yeah, added that, yeah.
Okay, and I would call this one um, um, maybe call it desktop.
Desktop. Okay.
Okay, and then what I do in my CSS and my media queries is I would hide that one as a media query. So if I'm on mobile, it'll hide that, and then I'd replicate this one. So I'd replicate this one, and I'd call this one mobile. The other one is mobile. Row background. It won't be a YouTube video. It'll be an image. Okay. So if I go update, then all I've got to do then is just write some media queries for showing, showing those. Yeah. Did you? you yeah, no problem. So I'm just going to write those media queries now, so you can see when I save this, and I'm going to close this off. So you get going, and I'll upload these so you can see the video. No worries, mate. You have a good night. See you, mate. So what Scott was asking me is, how can we show a movie on a desktop but not on mobile, and instead on mobile show an image as a background on that row? Well, that's pretty easy, because all we do is add a couple of classes, a class name to the movie, and call that desktop. So anything that's with a class as desktop will show for a desktop. Anything that's with a class for mobile will show as mobile, and vice versa. Neither of them show. So the mobile will not show on a desktop, and the other way around. So I've done the classes, and what we need to do is just write some media queries now for these. So I've already done the media queries themselves. Anything up to the maximum width of 600 pixels. What we want to do is show mobile, and we're going to have desktop, because the mobile, we don't want to show the desktop, so we're going to go desktop, and we don't want to display that, so we'll go display none. And on the mobile, on the desktop, we don't want to show the mobile view, so we go there, we go mobile, and we're going to put display none. We'll save that, and let's see what that does. So we're on the page of about, and we'll go and let's refresh that. Go to the about page, and on the mobile I've gone for anything under 600 pixels. So at the moment I'm on 545. I'm showing an image there, which is what we wanted, so that we're not going to be causing a slow site for mobile. And let's go to a bigger screen, and instantly we've got a movie. So media queries is really powerful for that, and I guess it makes it a whole lot easier when we're wanting to show a bit of content for a mobile or a bit of content for a desktop. So just to refresh, all we've done is mobile all, media all. So that's a media query, and a minimum width of 601 pixels. So anything above 601 pixels will not show a mobile view, and media all and maximum width, so anything under 600 pixels will not show the desktop view. So that's just a nice tricky way to do it. And let's just comment that out so that you could see what it would have looked like if we didn't use that. That would then show both of the rows that we created. So I'll refresh that. Go to the about page, and now we're showing two of them, and all we wanted to do was hide this one on mobile, and then hide this one on desktop. So hopefully that helps. Media queries is so awesome to work with once you understand how they work. And I think I can call this one finished, and we'll move on to the next stage after.